Green tunics, endless dungeons, and slicing up more plants than a rogue smoothie maker. Yes, there's a new Legend of Zelda game on the horizon. Get your bombs and bows at the ready for the Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. It was revealed at this year's E3 Expo in Los Angeles, to a room full of people desperate for a glimpse of the new and improved classic adventure series. Here at Nintendo TV, we've grown up with Link all our lives. He's like a faithful pet that's always been by our side. We're not sure if it's legal to keep a big wolf as a pet, so keep that one to yourselves. Zelda legend Shigeru Miyamoto gave us a hands-on demonstration of Skyward Sword at E3, and though the game isn't yet finished, what was shown has us as excited as Ganon in a pie shop. Since the very first Legend of Zelda game was released, Mr. Miyamoto has been instrumental in bringing Link's adventure to millions of adoring fans. Miyamoto created the Zelda series after taking inspiration from the surroundings in Japan where he grew up. We've only visited Japan briefly, but we don't remember seeing that many giant scorpions and big pig-faced monster things, but we'll take his word for it. Skyward Sword will be the first Zelda game to take advantage of the Wii Motion Plus. You'll be able to handle the sword more freely with the Wiimote, which will make fighting enemies all the more easy and also way more satisfying. It really is the best thing since sliced bread, or in this case, sliced Deku Baba. The controls give you one-to-one control over Link and his weapons, and you can move the sword to slice in any direction. This is a revolutionary advance for the Zelda series, which shouldn't surprise fans as Nintendo are constantly pushing, pulling and blowing up boundaries with each installment. This started way back with the first Legend of Zelda game. Considering when it was made, the game's design was groundbreaking as players were allowed to explore the seemingly endless map in any way they pleased. The new item system was also one of the huge reveals at the E3 conference. Rather than assigning different items to various buttons, Skyward Sword uses a new pocket system. To use, you just open your pocket and pick out the item you want to use. Simple. We've been using a pocket system on our jeans for years now, and it's worked wonderfully in real life. Let's hope it works just as well in Hyrule. As well as the usual weapon combinations of sword, bow, bombs and the slingshot, we're very intrigued by the beetle, which Link can fire and control for a short period of time. It can be used to pick up hard-to-reach items, but you can also use it to drop bombs on enemies when they're not expecting it. Death from a bug. Brilliant! Much like Spirit Tracks, there's a whip which Link can use to grab items and help his hay fever by cutting the grass. Though the whip can't actually defeat big enemies, it's still fun to whip them around until they lose their temper. One of the main changes that we haven't spoken about is the hero of the story, Hylian adventurer Link. Throughout the years, we've come to know and love several different incarnations of Link, and though little is known about the Link in Skyward Sword, he seems to be made in a similar mould to the Link in Twilight Princess. As well as different types of Link, we know there are also many different types of Nintendo TV viewers. With that in mind, we'd like to think that there's a different Link for everyone. So we've put together a guide for you to find out what kind of Link you are. It should come in handy next time some dark force takes over your homeland. Okay, first question. Do you have a burning sense of justice? Yes? Are you quite handy with a silver arrow? You are? Then we reckon you're a double for the very first Link from the original Legend of Zelda game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So that's some of you sorted out. Next question. Whilst out and about on your various journeys, do you receive strange telepathic messages from a damsel in distress? No. Really? And you don't spend your time running around dungeons in the dark world? Well, then you're probably not the Link from the third Zelda game, A Link to the Past, which was released on the Super Nintendo. Okay, so we know what kind of Link you're not. Let's see if we can find out what kind of Link you are. What's your profession? Are you by any chance a railroad engineer? I thought you were. What's that? You were at Zelda's castle attending your graduation when the princess asked for your help to escape? Ah, I see! I'm betting you're the Link from The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks on the DSi. So far so good, but for those of you still confused as to which Link you are, here's one final question to help you out. Are you often on the search for a lost friend? I knew it! And do you often find yourself summoning giants with your trusty ocarina? Yeah, you look the type. You definitely belong to the Link from Majora's Mask. Well, there we are. We hope that has helped you out. The original Zelda, A Link to the Past, and Majora's Mask can all be found on the Nintendo's Virtual Console, alongside many other Zelda titles. But if retro isn't your thing, then you can't beat the outstanding Twilight Princess on Wii. It's the best-selling Zelda game ever in Europe, and though it was released more than 4 years ago, it's still one of the top games available on the Wii. Another E3 announcement that has us frantically saving up our rupees is the news that Nintendo are developing a 3D revamp of franchise favourite Ocarina of Time. The N64 game is already available on the Virtual Console and boasts an impressive amount of awards, top review scores, and has appeared on just about every best game ever list. The 3DS version won't just be adding state-of-the-art effects to this classic game. Mr. Onuma picked Ocarina of Time as his favourite video game ever, but also said that he planned on tweaking the original game to make it even better. We're already starting the Nintendo TV campaign to get the Ocarina of Time theme to #1 in the charts. Although there's no official release date for Skyward Sword yet, Mr. Miyamoto says we should expect the new title early next year. But with so many incredible Legend of Zelda titles available on the Wii, DSi, and the Virtual Console, hopefully we've given you enough reason to revisit some absolutely classic games.